Good morning, good afternoon, everyone. Coach Jesse here with Coach Dale. Welcome, insiders. Welcome, coaches. Welcome, family and friends, because that's what we all are here today. Coach Dale and I will be talking about back pain today. Are you ready?
My back hurts today.
I know those years of service take a toll on our backs.
Absolutely.
Back pain, chronic back pain. There's so many different conditions that can go along with it that are service connected that we don't even realize. Coach Dell, do you want to provide a few examples?
Yeah, I think I'll provide a few examples here. Hey, welcome, vets. Coach Dale Mattingly here, U.S. Marine Corps veteran, honorably discharged, 100% permanent and totally disabled here at your service. I deal with chronic back pain every single day, about 3 different areas. I'm not actually service connected for that back pain. I haven't got to 100% before it got rated, ironically enough. Hopefully, vets, you can learn something here from us here at VA Claims Insider, in getting those conditions connected. So I guess the first thing I want to touch on is, let's start with the good news about your VA disability back pain. I'm going to borrow some things from our website here at vaclaimsinsider.com. In 2018, it was determined by the Federal Circuit Court that the VA's got to award disability benefits for pain due to military service. Now, before, you had to have a specific diagnosis for that. Now you can get rated for a condition generally due to back pain. Okay. And that's going to be to our advantage as veterans, right, Coach Jesse?
It is. Some of the most common causes of back pain are herniated disc in the back. And a lot of our veterans, from what we do through our years of service, experience those issues.
Yeah, absolutely. And, according to Wikipedia, one of the biggest causes of back pain and one of the symptoms of it is ankylosis. And we get into a lot of medical terms with the VA that we're not familiar with as vets. But as you research it, according to Wikipedia, ankylosis is stiffness of a joint due to abnormal adhesion and rigidity of the bones of the joint, which might be the result of an injury or disease. And as veterans, we're often subjected to trauma, whether it's during combat or training for that matter. So the first thing I can tell you, and Coach Jesse, you probably concur, you just retired from the military. Congratulations.
Thank you.
After a long time. I didn't get my butt to the doctor. Getting to the doctor and being seen for these symptoms is the number one thing that you need to do when you have these problems. And if you're still in the military or you're within that 1-year period, it's very important so that you don't have to chase these things later on and get not service connected.
Well, Coach Dell, many of us that served, we always drink the water and drive on with the mission and forget about self-care. And, don't let that discourage any of the veterans out there from seeking a claim for back pain. While you did not get seen or treated for it while in service, it's still a possibility to get that through the claims process.
Yeah, it's really important. And one of the key points, and you can find a lot of this information on our blogs or at vaclaimsinsider.com, spine impairment is a huge issue. And when you file a claim for back pain, you need to keep in mind also that one of the central points that the VA looks at when they're rating you for a percentage towards your disability claim is making sure that when they evaluate you, that you don't push past these pain points, right, Coach Jesse? When
That's
you're
right.
evaluated.
Once you feel that discomfort, it's time to stop. Don't be Mr. Super Trooper and continue to push on with that motion.
Yeah, exactly. Everything we learned as soldiers, sailors, airmen, and Marines, we're told to push past the pain, take some Motrin, Mountain Dew, get back on duty, and all that trash. That doesn't work when you're fighting the VA. You got to fight against all your instincts, get to the doctor, tell them what's going on, be open, vulnerable about this. And, politely say no if they push you to those pain points. You're trying to get rated for these disabilities. And even a 10, 20% range of motion leaning can cost you a difference between a 30 or a 60% rating on the rating schedule. Okay. And
just from a little personal experience with stiffness, my back's so stiff sometimes I have to get the wife to help me out of bed. While many of us may or may not have been treated for back issues, if you have those moments of stiffness, it's something to get checked out. If you have phantom pains in your lower back or upper or mid back, it's always something to get checked out and seen for and treated for by a doctor.
Absolutely. It's all about the severity of symptoms, right, Jesse?
That's right.
Yeah. So as we talk about back pain today, guys and gals, there are ways that you can get things service connected for back pain in general. It's generally tied to range of motion and how little range of motion you have. You can get rated between 10% and 100% for back pain. And as you look through online at the 38 CFR Part 4, that is the rating schedule for disabilities. It's 4.71A. 4.71A. And so as you look at that, you want to make sure that you understand how your symptoms fall in that schedule.
You know, everything we do with the VA, it's not so much about the diagnosis, it's about the signs and symptoms. You really want to be able to talk your signs and symptoms you have so the VA can understand what you're going through on a daily.
Absolutely. Yeah, and as you're going through your symptoms with the doctor, you want to be open and honest with how long, these symptoms have been going on, whether it's all the way back to your military service or whether it was caused by another service-connected disability that you incurred as well. And Coach Jesse, I wanted to dovetail into this. You can also get rated for disc issues if you can't get your direct back pain connected. Can you tell us a little bit about the disc issues?
Well, the disc issues, it follows in line with the signs and symptoms and frequency. The rating schedule is based off of how often and for how long. So you really want to keep notes on how often you're having incapacitated disc, or you're feeling incapacitated because of the disc in your back, because that's going to play into the type of rating and compensation you receive from the VA. The IVDS, intervertebral disc syndromes, can be rated at 10, 20, 40, and 60% based on their severity and frequency.
Absolutely. And you mentioned the other day, we were having a discussion about how typically you can get herniated discs outside. Tell us a little bit about your situation. That was interesting.
So I had an awkward herniation in my lower back. Most discs herniate outwards away from the back or to the sides. Mine actually herniated inwards. And that was 7 or 8 years ago, and I still have issues with it today. They still are not aware of why it herniated the way that it did, but it creates a lot of issues for me.
Yeah, and most of my back pain is in the upper part of the back, Coach Jesse. I have a lot of neck issues. And normally if you have the middle to lower back, that's going to be the cervical part of the spine. And then, of course, anything above the middle of the back would be considered more in the neck. I've had a lot of neck trauma in the Marine Corps related to working with explosives and transportation of them. A lot of shoulder injuries and neck injuries. So I've been rated for some neck issues, not necessarily middle to lower back, but that certainly counts. Which kind of leads me into our next point here that we talked about. Beyond the discs and beyond the back pain, and that is our osteoarthritis. Over time, these things don't tend to get better, do they?
No, they don't. They actually deteriorate even further with time. And, as veterans, many of us stop taking care of ourselves once we get out. And for those of us that gain weight and continue to eat poorly, it just dampens on our back issues. I'm a strong believer that whole health is the best for us. If we can keep the weight off, our back, knees, joints all feel better.
Yeah, absolutely. That's a great point. We typically are in our best shape when we're in the military, and we get out, we get injured. And, I'm not exactly fat and nasty, but, I'm on that outer cusp now. I definitely can't run that 18-minute PFT anymore, do the 20 pull-ups. I could probably do 30 minutes on the 3 miles, maybe 4 pull-ups, and maybe about 5 or 10 push-ups. So I'd definitely be getting a low score on the cutting score there.
Well, a few months ago, my wife made a comment about some of my weight gain, and it promoted me to lose about 30 pounds. And my back and knees are thanking me for that.
Yeah. I'm pretty fortunate. I've picked up about 10 or 15 pounds, but generally not too bad. But as we go past here, we've covered osteoarthritis, we covered IVDS, we've covered general back pain and getting pain in general rated. I want to talk to you, vets, about leading into maybe some valuable secondary conditions. And, you know, one that's really important once you get that back pain rated it could cause other issues. You know, the back is connected to the legs or connected to the feet, you know, and you can get some valuable secondary conditions. Probably the most high value, and you may concur with this, Coach Jesse, is something called radiculopathy. You want to talk a little bit about that?
It is. And, you know, radiculopathy is something I couldn't pronounce a few months ago. And after learning more about it, it's something that I have when my chronic pain onsets from my lower disc. I get pain that shoots down both legs all the way to my knees and ankles and feet, numbness and tingling. And I believe, you know, I'm not a medical professional here, but I believe that is correlated with my lower back issue. Because it happens when I have the onset of pain in my lower back. I'm exploring that option now with my primary care provider and working on my VA claim for that as well. So good point there, Coach Dell.
Yeah, it's really important also to note that, you know, when you get this back pain service connected, you know, that can lead into radiculopathy, which can be rated in 3 separate areas of the back. It can be lower, middle, and upper. So just want to keep that in general terms, but, you know, you want to be telling your doctor about all your symptoms with your back, like Coach Jesse alluded to, you know, talking about, you know, the numbness, the tingling, the pain, because if you establish those symptoms with your doctor in time, you can file for that valuable secondary claim, possibly for radiculopathy. I have radiculopathy in my arms from the upper part of my neck. So, you know, that causes numbness and tingling, and I can't feel my arms sometimes. And so I believe also it's directly, you know, tied to that as well. But it's all about medical evidence, guys, you know, and making sure.
What about some other secondary claims that you could go off of your back? Maybe something mental health related?
Yeah, you could lead into what's called somatic symptom disorder. We generally call that lifestyle impact. Okay. So if you hear us talk about here at VA Claims Insider and in many of our videos, we talk about lifestyle impact. And what we're referring to is something called somatic symptom disorder. And it's rated as a mental health condition, and it can be tied directly to pain. So as you go through life and you go through treatment at the VA, if you're experiencing things like, you know, if it's affecting you with time with your family, or you can't do things that you used to do at work, or you're limited as to doing outdoor things like I like to do that I may not be able to do anymore. You need to talk to someone in mental health about that too, because that back pain could directly lead into something like a lifestyle impact claim for you.
You know, I miss out on a lot of good hunting because of my back.
Right on. Copy that. I got to fire a rifle and shotgun left-handed now, pretty much, because of my terrible right shoulder. But luckily I'm ambidextrous and I'm a pretty good shot. So, but that's for a whole nother conversation. You know, when you're talking about your claims and you're talking about back pain and radiculopathy and all these valuable secondary claims like mental health, when you file your claim with your coach here at VA Claims Insider, we've got a lot of great tools at VAClaimsinsiderelite.com if you sign up with a coach, where you can look at templates for writing statements. And let's talk a little bit about that for back pain, Jesse. What do you want to focus on when you write these personal statements like a 21-4138?
You know, my recommendation would always be signs and symptoms and the actual event that started it, especially if you know it. You know, through many years of military service, we may or may not know what is causing our back pain. It may be multiple deployments, wearing an extra 60 to 70 pounds of gear, and that heavy Kevlar on your head. Or maybe you never deployed, but you did a lot of training in preparation for deployments and rucked all the time. So you got to know what potentially caused those issues. And in your statements, you really want to talk to those trigger points that caused your back pain. You know, we see a lot of individuals in the military that are 125 pounds soaking wet with a 80-pound rucksack on their back, doing 10 to 15 miles, maybe further if you're in the Marines. But, you know,
I was in the air wing. I was in the air wing, so I'm not as hard charger as you guys, but yeah, we humped around 1,000-pound, 2,000-pound bombs, missiles, bombs, rockets, chaff, flares, you know, ammunition going into aircraft, a lot of heavy lifting. caused a lot of shoulder problems, neck problems, dislocations, broken collarbone, the whole plethora of things, that's probably
there's a key point you said right there. Lots of heavy lifting.
Exactly.
Regardless of what your job is in the military, whether you had a office job or you are a frontline infantry soldier or special forces or ranger or hula high speed guy, we all have simple soldier skills, simple military skills that we all have to do. Physical fitness, ranges for some. You have your, was it the Marine Combat Physical Fitness Test? That thing's I had some Marines that worked for me, and I did that physical test with them, and oh man, the Army had nothing that compared to it. So, just our routine tasks that we do while we're serving in the military can cause these problems. Just because you had a office job, don't think that you can't service connect a back issue.
Yeah, that's right. I mean, you really, when you're documenting all this medical evidence, I want to address that also with you. And as you start building your claim with your coach in preparation for filing, and you're going to the doctor, you want to continue to build medical evidence. And one of the things I want to stress here is using My Health eVet to document your back pain symptoms and the secondary issues that you might have from that. I personally used My Health eVet to document a lot of the medical conditions and specific symptoms that I was having in order to build that rating from 20% up to 100% permanent and total. And that is a major way to do that. Our CEO Brian Reese has a lot of videos on this online related to using My Health eVet. I'm a firm believer in that. And all that information that you type in and get documented gets uploaded directly into your medical records so that rating officials can see that when they rate your particular condition. So please use that tool. It will help you.
And if you do have a lack of medical evidence, don't sweat it. It's something that we can work on, get with your coach and discuss ways to go about getting that medical evidence, that diagnosis, that nexus statement. We can always use our third-party medical agency we work with, Telemedica. They are great, and they can point you in the right direction and get you what you need.
Yeah, there's no reason to get started. You definitely get in the game, get fighting. I didn't get compensated properly for about 15 years. Didn't go to the doctor, didn't tell anybody. Filed a bunch of claims just because I thought I had the conditions. I had back pain, I had neck pain, I had mental health issues, and on and on and on. But until you get to the doctor, until you get a diagnosis, it's very difficult to get these things rated and get compensated for them. But you just got to get started, and get started with your coach, get a strategy, start putting your statements together, and come up with the way you're going to file. Absolutely. So I want to talk about one other item, Coach Jesse, when you're filing for back pain issues. And one of the things that's really important, this is a new tool and a statement that came out a couple months ago. It's called a 21-10210. It's basically a sworn statement from a spouse or a family member who is often around you. And it can be direct evidence, and it can speak to your symptoms even in the absence of medical evidence. It's very valuable and something you might want to fill out with your coach or talk about that. And that's also helpful in addition to your medical records for your back pain.
I know yesterday when you and I were kind of prepping for this and doing a little talking, you mentioned Saunders versus Wilkie.
Yeah, Saunders v. Wilkie is what we talked about at the top of the broadcast here. In April 2018, the Federal Circuit Court basically ruled that the VA has to award disability benefits for pain due to military service. Now, previously, pain without an underlying diagnosis was not awarded compensation, and this had been the de facto determination according to the Circuit Court of Appeals for Veterans Claims. Now, you don't need a specific diagnosis anymore to get compensated and get VA benefits, and that's great because a lot of people don't have that specific diagnosis, but they sure as hell have a lot of pain, right, Coach?
That's right. That's right. And apologies for going back to that. I just kind of wanted to show something out there that was proven in court and something to share with these veterans so they can see some solid evidence on what we're talking about here.
Absolutely. And we talked about a lot of things today, Coach. We talked about, talking about your symptoms, using medical evidence, getting that uploaded, getting a diagnosis from one of our independent third parties. The VA claims process can be very complicated and frustrating, and if you have back pain, talk to a coach, put together a strategy, and get in the game. The number one reason that VA claims are denied are lack of medical evidence. So just keep that in mind, get to the doctor and start talking about your back pain. And eventually you're going to get the rating and compensation that you deserve.
And, while this process seems tedious, stressful, and unpleasant, once you connect with your coach and you strategize on what plan you're going to take, what plan of action you're going to do, the process really becomes streamlined and quick and efficient. Just get with your coach and come up with that plan, and you'll have great success.
Yeah, absolutely. And when you meet with your coach, you're going to go over and look at your, if you're already rated through the VA, you're going to look at the disabilities that you're currently rated for and the ones that you may have been denied for or not service connected. And you'll come up with a strategy, and you'll basically get together and you'll get a plan of attack together, just like in the military. And you'll put together your claim, you'll file your claim. And then the really important part starts, right, Coach Jesse, and the real value in what we do. And that's preparation for your compensation and pension examinations, right?
That's right. And the compensation and pension exams, you'll also hear us refer to them as CMPs. You are going to have some anxiety about it. You're going to get nervous about it. I've had 2 recently, and I thought I was prepared and had worlds and tons of anxiety going into it. And, just go in there, be open, honest, vulnerable, and not let them push you past your levels of discomfort, especially when it's coming to a physical exam.
Yeah, absolutely. And there's some other manipulative things, unfortunately, that we see at CNP examinations, right, Jesse? A couple old tricks where, you might be told to bend over and take your shoes off, or you might be able to pick up a pencil, or, hey, I dropped this box. Can you help me out? These are pretty low life things that are done. But, just keep in mind when you go for your back pain or your other secondary service connected issues that you're going for based on your back pain, that examination is going to start if you go in person when you get out of your car. Okay. Right. So if you pop out of your car and you start doing jumping jacks and running into the building and I'm so happy to be here, well, you're probably being taped as soon as you get out of your car, as soon as you go in the building. Just look at it as a business transaction. You're going in there. They're not your friend. You're going to tell them about your back pain. You're going to be all business, and then you're going to leave. And that's it.
Just remember during the entire exam, especially for your back, shoulders, knees, ankles, anything that involves range of motion, discomfort is pain. Once you get to that level of discomfort, that's where you need to stop.
Absolutely. And you do not want to push past that. Can't stress that enough. Wish I had a little bobbleheaded doll on my desk when I'm talking to my clients. Don't push past the pain. Don't push past the pain. Yeah, we all want to do it as Marines and soldiers, sailors, and airmen. But being a tough guy won't get you compensated, unfortunately. All right. So we're rolling up on about 25 minutes past the hour right now. And Coach Jesse, do you have some more items that you wanted to cover?
I think we hit back pain pretty well. I'd love to answer any questions they may have, and those questions can be directed to us or to your coach, or if you're not a veteran client of VACI, the link will be below. We look forward to getting to know you and working with you and answering any questions you may have.
Yeah, we have lots of valuable educational free resources at vaclaimsinsider.com. And if you'd like to sign up with a coach and get some full service, you can go to vaclaimsinsider.com and sign up, and you'll probably be contacted within about 15 minutes. It's not going to take very long. So we definitely aim to serve veterans here and help you get the rating and compensation that you deserve. It's been a pleasure talking with you here today, Coach Jesse.
Coach Dale. You guys all have a great day and enjoy the weather out there.
All right. Have a great day.